Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Kim with K Montes Art Studio, and it's been about 3 weeks since I've posted a video. I'm kind of sad about it, but I've been very busy this fall season. And speaking of fall, this image here is going to be a fall landscape. So I set up my table. I wanted to paint in my living room. And I wanted to use my Delaroni watercolor palette. I have been in love with this little travel palette. It's been very convenient. I discovered that I love the Delaronis through a purchase that I made. Michael had a sale, 2 buy 2 get 1. I can't remember. But I got just 3 different colors. So yeah, it must have been the buy 2 get 1. And I love the texture. I loved the pigmentation and the smoothness of the watercolor. So I decided to go forward and try out their dry palette. So this one was purchased at Michael's, but I have seen them on Amazon for just a little bit cheaper. So yeah, I delve into this painting with some browns, some greens, yellows, and a lot of the colors that you typically see in fall. I have had fall decorations, and I'm laughing while I'm saying this, since the last week of August. So it's been fall in my house for quite some time now. We're entering the last week, or actually today is the last day of September as I do this recording and have it be posted on the 3rd day of October. That's so crazy. September just flew by and I didn't get a chance to do any art. So yeah, I did this art piece over the summer, the last week of August, actually. And so let me give you some updates. First off, let's give a round of applause to my 600 subscribers. I'm so grateful for every single one of you. My little small community is growing, and I'm so happy that you guys love my videos. And this particular video will be a real-time video, as you may have already noticed. So I'm going to catch you up on a couple things since I haven't posted a video in about 3 weeks. All right, so what's new with me? So in the past 3 weeks, I have spent my time studying for an extremely large exam that I'm hoping to pass at the end of October. And I have been studying for this exam for months and months and months. It feels like I don't have a life right now. I'm back at work, and my work is teaching. So I teach at a university, and I love, that's like my second favorite job after being an artist, because I love being an artist. But I love being a teacher. It's my greatest passion, my biggest joy, and my students bring me so much joy, just as much joy as my art. Some other new things, I have been painting a whole lot. I painted so many new paintings this summer, whether that was on a large canvas, a sketchbook, or some type of paper. I also worked on my children's art club over the summer. That was absolutely so delightful and so fun. It was part of my community engagement with my nonprofit. That is another thing that I do. I do a lot of community engagement, community design, and there's never time to do anything. So, over the summer, I spent a lot of time doing different activities, but mostly I spent my time doing art. It's the month of October, and I unfortunately cannot start any art October challenges. I really, really tried. I tried so hard. I even planned things out for Peachtober, and like I said, I spent my month studying, and I realized that I had to cut down a lot of things that I was involved in, including my art, and it's a bummer. But I'm not going to completely stop making YouTube videos. You may have noticed that I haven't posted in 3 weeks, but I'm going to try to post minimum 2 videos per month. I cannot promise until I finish this test, but I'm gonna try. My goal is to post consistently every Thursdays, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the time that I've been posting for the past 2 years, going on 2 years. Oh my God, I'm about to turn 2 on YouTube. And there are times where you kind of just don't have time to post. So that was the month of September. I was so excited to kind of start brainstorming different ideas. I didn't even get a chance to do that. So this video was actually made at the end of August because I was so excited to decorate for fall. So I'm not a big decorator. I'm an interior designer. And if you don't know, interior design is a much more technical field than it is decorating. Decorating is the fun stuff that we get to do at the very end of the project and kind of add a bunch of fluff and tchotchkes and things like that. But that is what my exam is for. I'm getting certified in being a interior design person. So yeah, I had a lot of fun decorating this summer at the end of August, the last week of August. I couldn't wait. I was like, oh, September's only 1 week away. Who cares? No one's going to come over. I'm just going to put up my fall decorations and I'm just going to sit and drink my pumpkin spice latte in the last week of summer, right before September started. Technically, fall started September 23rd, but fall started August 20 something in my house. So that's what I spend the last week of my summer on. And as I wrapped up my summer class, because I did teach a summer class, which is a whole lot of fun. Summer classes tend to be a little bit more lenient, but the fall classes pick up and full speed. There's no time for anything. You're lesson planning, you're kicking up the speed on all your projects. The students are on go, the teachers are on go, and you lose so much track of time. And next thing you know, you're like in winter term. We do terms in our school, and it goes by really fast. So with the test in mind and just trying to, give myself some slow productivity, I also have been reading a whole lot, which has been a lot of fun. And I do hope to do some type of art book video soon. But I'll touch on that topic a little later. So that's kind of been my September. reading, studying, and class prep. And that's all I could handle at the moment. Unfortunately, I don't have time to sit down, make art, and make videos. But whenever I do have time to make videos, I don't remember to turn on my camera, or it is just not a sufficient enough painting to kind of record, if you know what I mean. So I end up just doodling or just making a painting for myself, which is always nice. So let's dive into this sketch a little here. I spent my time painting the sketch with my Daleroni watercolors and my Pentel water brushes with my Hanamula sketchbook. This little setup here is my go-to setup. And have I mentioned how much I love these watercolors? These are probably the most affordable, sort of semi-high quality, mid-grade watercolors I've ever experienced. I love the texture. I love the opacity that these have, the pigments. Did I mention the texture? Something about like a medium grade goopy watercolor is so fun. Now, that's like borderline irritating to me because I do have like a little bit of a texture sensory thing. I have the Van Gogh watercolor tubes, and something about their goopiness really drove me crazy. I think I blame myself for not liking them, because I hear other friends talk about the Van Gogh and how much they love the Van Gogh, but something about that goopiness compared to this goopy was so different to me. Very slight, very subtle, but those types of things really, really stick in my head. And if you know anything about like sensory things, and have any like sensory things yourself, having the right consistency and the right texture for certain things, for me, the type of paper, I'm not autistic. I'm not diagnosing myself, and I'm not like feeling that I am in any type of way, just to clarify. But I do think it has to do with some of my ADHD and dyslexia, and just the way I have a couple other learning differences. One of them in particular being dysgraphia, which does have to do with writing and sort of getting your thoughts out. So I don't know exactly if that comes from that, but I thought it was interesting how I like the goopiness. Long story short, I like the goopiness of the De La Roni and not the Van Gogh paints. So if you can relate to that, let me know in the comments below, because sometimes you just have to have the right consistency for your paint in order to kind of really feel motivated. You know, sometimes it doesn't matter what quality you have, but if things feel good for you, it can help you feel motivated. So this little pan cost me maybe $25 to $30, and I love it. And that's that. So to talk about the landscape, I was hoping to acquire a little fall landscape that was kind of large in scale. So I was imagining this to be somewhat of a distance view landscape. So if you take a look at some of the brown areas, I was imagining those to be sort of like dead grass segments. And if I look over to the left side, bottom middle, where the seam is, I was imagining those to be trees. So that gives you a good sense of scale, and my idea of proportion for this painting. I enjoyed really making some of the little textural line works that you'll see me do in a minute, but this was a whole lot of fun. So I know I touched on me decorating my fall decor, and I thought it would be fun to kind of talk about my other world, being interior design, which I find to be so interesting and so wild that I am an interior designer. Sometimes I sit here and like am in awe, because I always dreamt of being some type of creative. Clearly, I knew I was an artist from birth, and maybe 5 years old. I knew that that was something that I could do. And then when I went to art school, actually, fun fact, I switched my major from psychology over to fine arts. And actually, so I started off as a fine arts major. I switched my major to psychology, switched back over to fine arts. That's how it went. And then when I switched back the second time, I had it in the back of my mind that I didn't know how I was going to make money with art. And I wanted something that was more technical that I could probably find a job with. Long and behold, the recession happened, and that was not the case for either of those careers. So I was like, oh well, I'll just do fine art and get the background that I need, and I know that I'll end up having to become an entrepreneur. And I kind of had that mindset a little bit already. I didn't know how to do the entrepreneurship just yet, so that was not developed in my head yet. But I think having the idea that there was potential to do something with my art, I just kept it. And I also didn't know how to transfer schools. That was like a foreign concept to me. And then trying to involve my parents and giving, it was just a lot. So I just dealt with being at the school I was at and dealt with having my art degree. So fast forward several years later, I was always into community stuff, always into sort of community engagement things. I was in a job that was one of my first teaching jobs, actually. And in this job, they gave you opportunities to kind of go back to school for a master's degree and give you small scholarships for different schools. I got accepted to 3 different schools while working with them. One of the schools was Johns Hopkins University for a full ride scholarship to the education program. And guess what I did? I turned it down. I turned down a full scholarship to Johns Hopkins University, an Ivy League school. So I just knew that I wanted to be a teacher, but not forever. And also, I don't know. Anyways, long story short, it all worked out because I still got to do every single career that I ever wanted and loved. So to continue the story, I turned down Johns Hopkins. I knew that I didn't want to do education, but I did deeply inside. I also knew that I wanted my career to be a creative career, and I wanted to get paid for it. Then I looked down the list of all the other schools and I saw interior architecture and design, and I freaked out. I was like, no way that we have many scholarships for a school that provides this. I applied, got all my recommendations. I got all of the things that I needed, submitted the application, and my dogs are over here freaking out. Anyways, I submitted the application and I waited and waited and waited. I would say the acceptance letter came in maybe 5 months after I applied. And I was like, oh, I probably didn't get in. Oh, well, like, at least I can really consider maybe calling Johns Hopkins back and going to school for education and becoming some type of principal somewhere. And, or like, being a teacher first and then becoming a principal or whatever. Long story short, I finally got accepted. I think it was around this time, like September, October. And I was set to start that following year in the summer. And I could not believe that I was going into this field. So when I went to school, got accepted, went into the field, and so I should say that was like a really like time lapse version of that. So I went to school, realized that this wasn't at all decorating and that there was a lot of technical things in it, and it brought me back, like kind of rewinded the time to when I liked the technical aspects of the psychology major that I had. And I was like, oh, this is nice. Although I wasn't really totally understanding why we didn't learn decoration, it was nice to see my A side of my brain being used. And still to this day, I absolutely love, like, I nerd out on technical drawings. That's one of my favorite aspects of my job, which I don't get to do anymore because now I'm teaching interior design. So I forget how this story started, but to bring things full circle, when you do interior design with certain fields, you don't get to do as much decorating as TV shows tend to present to you. So whenever I get a chance to decorate, it is so much fun. And I actually don't love it as much anymore as I thought I did. I like to kind of get like the furniture and rugs and the like harder surfaces, but usually what you see on like HD TV and things like that is the final touches where, yeah, they got a nice chair, but what about the pillows that they add to it? That's like the fluffery. What about like the things that they place on that table? So those are the types of things that people see, but in reality, a lot of things go into designing the wall, designing the floor, designing the ceiling. And I love all of those details. So long behold, 7 or is it going on 8 years now, I have been a interior designer, educator, and artist. I mean, I've been an artist for much longer, but I've been an educator for this particular school for about 2 years now. I have been a teacher for a lifetime as well. So I've been a teacher for 11 years. And this was right before that. This was right after that first year where I was applying for schools. And I've been an artist, I like to say professionally, for 11 years as well. But I've been an artist since I was about 5. So yeah, those are all my career switch ups, backs and forths, kind of mesh ups and togetherness. I have a deep passion for creating, so it's just a perfect combination to have for myself in both teaching and art making and designing. I've never seen such a great combo like I've had, and I've been so fortunate and grateful to have these as my careers. So that's the gist of my career story. I don't even know how I got into this, but yeah, if you have any questions about how I manage and juggle all these things, as you already know, the only things I'm juggling right now is my exam, my teaching, and I actually had to put some of my design work on pause as well. So I'm doing teaching, test taking, studying, and what I'm doing for fun is reading, which is like kind of all on the same realm. But it's a thin line of balance and kind of maneuvering through those things. So thank you for sticking around and watching this real-time painting. If you like it, definitely give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and welcome to all my new subscribers. I hope you like my story time and chat and paint with me. I hope to give you more of these this month, since that's all I have time for. But thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!